Good day everyone. Today we will be discussing gas and liquids. So here is your chapter outline. For gases and liquids, we have pressure in liquids, behavior of gases, the kinetic molecular theory, the gas laws, the types of intermolecular forces, the behavior of liquids at molecular level. So this PowerPoint is the PowerPoint of the nursing, but then most of the topics which are the problem solving. The RadTech can also get an idea from here. Okay, so I will be discussing the computations, and please do understand, because these are the things that is included. Okay, these things were included in your exams. In your examination, I should say. Okay, now let's have here pressure. Okay, so let's have here our objectives. Define pressure and explain how it behaves in liquids. Applies Pascal's law and Archimedes' principle in real-life health scenarios. Solve numerical problems involving liquid pressure and relate the concept of liquid pressure to healthcare practices. Now let's have first class the definition of pressure. So when we say pressure, class, it is the force applied per unit area. Take note that pressure, class, is defined as the force exerted per unit area, wherein we are given with the formula P is equal to F over A. When the force applied to a surface increases, so ito siya, when a force applied to when the force applied to a surface increases or tumaas itong force natin, okay, the pressure increases proportionally. Okay? So they will increase proportionally. And when the contact area, okay, when the contact area decreases, the pressure increases. Because the same force, class, is concentrated over a small region. Yan. Over a small region, and this is the inverse relationship between the pressure and area, okay, which is a foundational in fluid and physics. Now, in here, class, okay, so let's have here the formula P is equal to F over A, where P is the pressure, which is given us the unit of which has given the unit of Pascal. For force naman, we are going to use Newton. For area, take note that we are going to use square meter. Okay, the smaller the area, the greater the pressure exerted by a given force, as I have explained a while back. Ayan. Okay, now let's have here the different formulas. So I have taught you on how to derive formulas, right? Okay, so let's try to derive P is equal to F over A. What if F is the unknown? So if P is unknown, class, this is the formula. But what if F is unknown? Okay, so just follow the derivation of the formula like what I told you from prelims until for our semifinals. Just cross multiply if there is a fraction. P times A will give you PA. Okay? F times 1. Since this one is a whole number and wala po siyang denominator, F times 1 will give you F. Wala na po si 1 dyan. Okay? If, take note, if the unknown is, what do you call this one, is only 1 on the side separated with an equal sign, then you have found now derived now the formula. Okay, naintindihan. So, F here is only 1 on this side. That's why it is now the derived formula for force. Okay. Now, how about if we do not have your, what do you call this one? Your A or the area. Okay, again, don't forget to cross multiply. Okay, P times A will give you PA and then F. Okay, kapag ganito naman, class, our unknown is A, question mark. Okay, tinuro ko, encircle the unknown. Where is the unknown? Okay, we have here A. Si A ba ang ibababa ko? No. Kung sinong katabi ni A or sinong kasama niya separated sa equal sign, yun ang ibababa natin. So, it's letter P. Okay, over P. Kung ano nilagay nyo dito, yun din lang ang ilalagay dito. Canceling now the same variable will give you the formula A is equal to F over P. Okay, please take note, class, the different unit to be used in every variable. Again, for area, we have square meters. We have pressure, we are going to use Pascal. For force, we are going to use Newton. Okay, please bear that in your mind. Now, let's have here the sample problem. Okay, baba natin. It says there that a nurse uses a syringe with a piston area of 0.005 square meter to inject contrast medium. If the force applied to the plunger is 20 Newton, what is the pressure exerted on the fluid? Okay, let's look first on our on the different given. Okay, our given here we have square meter. Again, if it is square meter, that is already your area. Okay, how about 20 Newton? Since this is Newton class, what we're going to use is force. Now, the question is, what is the pressure exerted on the fluid? Now, we have the formula P is equal to F over A. Is this already the formula? Yes, since P here is only 1 and this is the unknown wherein what is the pressure. Let's now substitute the formula. What is our F, yung may Newton? It's 20 Newton. What is our area? 0.0005 square meter. Okay? Putting this together, class, we can get what? Okay? Ilan kaya ang magiging sagot dito? We can have 40,000. Is it 40,000 Pascal? It's 40,000 Pascal. Ma'am, bakit Pascal? Saan nanggaling ang Pascal? Pascal is the expanded formula for Pascal class is Newton over meter squared. Okay, bakit? Because of this one and this one. Okay, so take note, the expanded unit for Pascal is Newton per square meter. Okay, sana naintindihan natin lahat yan. Now, let's have here our activity. I think napagawa ko na lahat tong activity na to, class. So, there will be no problem about this. So, I have uploaded this activity also. Okay. Let's try to analyze the activity. A radiologic technologist applies a pressure. The same lang po, mag-substitute lang tayo. This is force. This is area. Okay, so we have force and area. And the question is the pressure. Okay, substitution will give you 400 Pascal. Okay, naintindihan. Now, let's have here the second activity. The pressure on a hospital bed surface is measured at 500 Pascal. Okay, 500 Pascal. Pascal. Take note, Pascal is P or the pressure. And the area, sabi niya, is 1.2 square meter. That is now your area. The question is, what is the force exerted? Okay, now, the unknown class is force. Take note, the unknown is force. Okay, now, what are we going to do, class? Okay, cross multiply again. P times A will give you PA is equal to F times wala, then we'll give you F. Substitute lang natin, kahit baliktarin mo man yan, class, pareho lang. What is your P? Our P or pressure is 500 Pascal times your area, which is 1.2 square meter, will give us, okay, how many Newton kaya? Take note, ang Pascal is Newton per meter squared. Okay, canceling squared, m squared here or square meter here, ang matitirang unit niya ay Newton because this is force. Now, let's see what is the answer. It's 600 Newton. Okay, so the answer here is 600 Newton. Okay, let's now move on to the next activity. Okay, I think this activity was, it has been done, it has been solved by you, everybody. And I really hope that this is, you will get a perfect score in this type of question during your exam. So, a portable lead shield exerts a force. Ayan, may force tayo dito. Force of 800 Newton on the floor, creating a pressure of 4,000 Pascal. So, Pascal is pressure. What is the area of contact between the shield and the floor? Again, the question is area. So, our unknown class is area. Yeah, let's cross multiply. P times A will give you PA is equal to F. What is our unknown? It's letter A or area. And circle area, bring down po yung hindi natin na-encircle, which is P. And then P dito, cancelling pressure, will give you this formula for area. What is our force? It's 800 Newton. What is our pressure? Okay, take note that our pressure is 4,000 Pascal. Okay, giving you now the answer of 0.2 square meter. Ma'am, bakit 0.2 square meter? Saan na naman galing yung 0.2 square meter or yung unit? Take note, class, when we say Pascal, it is Newton per square meter. Canceling Newton here will leave you with square meter. Nagkaintindihan? Okay? I hope that we are clear with that. Now, let's move on to the clinical relevance. Okay? Take note, class, that in monitoring the, the pressure, okay, to measure the pressure or the blood pressure, or the instrument used in hospitals to measure the blood pressure of a patient is the sphygmomanometer. So this sphygmomanometer, class, it measures the arterial pressure when there is an occlusion or occlusion of blood flow, and it also detects the yung sinasabi nilang Korotkoff sounds. And it may be a mercury base or the millimeters of mercury or the aneroid, or it can be the digital one. Okay? So, when we monitor the blood pressure, class, it is very crucial for diagnosing hypertension, and it's very important before we administer procedures because they can have shock, they can have fluid imbalance. Yan. Nurses or rad techs can use sphygmomanometers to evaluate also cardiovascular stability before medications or IV infusions or in surgery. So we can use that for cardiovascular stability in order for us to know what to do to administer. Yan. Now, next we have here IV fluid administration or the intravenous fluid administration. The flow of IV fluid depends on the pressure difference between the IV bag and, take note, the IV bag and the IV bag and the patient's vein. Okay, please take note of that. So let's say, for example, class, excuse me. So when we inject, or in injections and the blood sampling, the smaller the tip of the needle, kasi, class, it creates a greater pressure even with the gentle force. Kaya kapag natusok tayo ng konti, dumudugo, making it easier to penetrate the skin. Similarly, class, when pressure relief mattresses distribute body weight over a larger area naman, it lowers pressure on the bony prominences to prevent the what we call bed sores. Ayan. So, it's the additional information. And positioning and pressure ulcers. Okay, so prolonged pressure on bony prominences, yung sinasabi ko sa inyo kanina, can lead to tissue damage. Okay, that's why pressure relief in mattresses distribute body weight over a larger area. Okay, lowering now pressure on the bad bony prominences that will now prevent the what we call bed sores. And also class, kapag nasobrahan kasi yung pressure when we inject something, it can damage the vein. Okay? Now, I hope that there's no question about that. Now, let's have here atmospheric pressure. Okay? So, atmospheric pressure class, it says there that atmospheric pressure is the weight of air molecules above us. Okay, the weight of air molecules class pressing down on the surface is what do you call this one? Is the atmospheric pressure. So it says here that pressure decreases with increasing altitude. So the Earth's atmosphere kasi class, it exerts pressure. Why? Because of the gravitational pull on air molecules. So, the deeper you are in the atmospheric pressure kapag nasa sea level ka, the more compressed and heavier the air column above you. Okay? Now, class, how about in, what do you call this one? In healthcare. So, patients at high altitude naman, they have lower external pressure. This can lead to oxygen availability. Pero there is also a potential of hypoxia and need of oxygen therapy. So, understanding atmospheric pressure class, it is very essential in hyperbaric oxygen therapy. Okay? So, please take note that the standard value of atmospheric pressure at sea level is 1 atm. Okay? Please take note of that. And if you cannot see 1 atm in your exam, we can also use 760 millimeters of mercury, which is also equal to 101,325 Pascal. Okay, so it is the standardized reference used in gas law calculations. Yan. Let's now have here the the given here 1 atm is equal to 101,325 Pascal and 760 millimeters of mercury. And take note class that there are in hospital settings kasi class, we use ventilators. Those mechanical ventilators, it helps the patients to breathe. Okay, breathe in air. We can also use oxygen tanks and wound hyperbaric chambers, which are now calibrated relative to atmospheric pressure. Nurses or the radtechs, the radiologists, they must need to understand what is the baseline and atmospheric pressure in order for them to interpret respiratory and oxygenation measurement. Okay, now naman class, pag sinabi nating pressure decreases with increasing altitude, okay, the reason why is that the air molecules become fewer at higher elevations. Okay, so the density of air decreases with altitude due to diminishing gravitational pull and less air mas habang tumataas ka. Therefore, pressure decreases as altitude increases. So, what is the relevance of this in your career or in your profession? So, at high altitude class, the patients may experience hypoxia due to reduced oxygen partial pressure. Okay, the supplemental oxygen also class, and it is its acclimatization protocols may be necessary for safe adaptation. That's why you need to adapt in a higher elevation if you want to go upper or kung gusto mo pang pumataas. Okay? Now, let's have the calculations. And sample problem naman tayo. Now, kakauhaw. Ayan. A technologist takes a patient to a hyperbaric chamber pressurized to 2 atm. What is the equivalent pressure in millimeters of mercury? Okay? Tinuruan ko na kayo kung paano ito gawin, right? Ayan. Lang ang ingay ng mga pamangkin. Okay? Yan, close muna natin yan. Ay, naku yung aso. Okay, a technologist takes a patient to a hyperbaric chamber pressurized to 2 atm. This 2 atm here, class, is the given. Take note when you, what do you call this one? When you convert something, sorry. Okay, and let's continue. So always identify the what you call this one, always identify the given muna. Okay, so you have now identified the given. Now it's 2 atm. Okay, our unit here, class, is atm. Please take note of that. The denominator on the next equation must also be atm. Now, since it is ATM, class, what is the value of ATM in our conversion? It's 1. Now, what is now the equivalent of ATM in our conversion? It's 101,325 Pascal. Okay? Nakuha na ba natin si millimeters of mercury? Not yet. That's why we need to proceed. Now, class, the unit here, class, is Pascal. That's why our unit also here is Pascal. Now, the question is, what is the equivalent of Pascal in our conversion? It's 101,325. Okay. Now, what is the equivalent of this? 101,325 Pascal is 760 millimeters of mercury. Nagkaintindihan po ba? It's 760 millimeters of mercury. Now, I know that you know how to multiply the, what you call this one, fractions. So, when multiplying fractions, let's just multiply the numerators and denominators. Okay? So, multiply mo lang ang numerators or yung mga nasa taas and then yung nasa baba or the denominators. Let's cancel now like units or the same units. ATM, Pascal, and Pascal. So, what was left is millimeters of mercury, which is the conversion that we need. Okay. So, now let's have here what is the answer. We can have 1,520 millimeters of mercury. Paano nakuha yan, ma'am? Minultiply ko lang. Okay, take note, ang bar line, nagsisignify siya or nagsisimbolize siya as division. So, kung anong sagot mo sa taas, i-divide mo siya sa sagot ng nasa baba. That will give you 1,520 millimeters of mercury. Yan. Okay, now, let's have here an activity. So, you may post this and you may answer the activity. Ayan, same lang po siya. Our given is 50,662.5 Pascal. Ayan siya, Pascal ito. So, Pascal din ang nandito. At yung nasa kabila, it's Pascal. Now, there's no need for you to go here because katabi niya naman na itong si 1 atm, class. So, that will give you 50,662.5 times 1 atm. That will give you this one lapa. Any number that you multiply to 1, the answer is still the number. And then, i-divide mo lang po siya dito. Since 1 naman po to, that will give you 0.50 atm. Ma'am, bakit 0.50 atm? Cancel Pascal. Pascal, ang unit na natira ay atm. Okay, now, let's have here the next activity. A barometer reading shows 0.75 atm. What is the corresponding pressure in pascals? Okay, so we are looking for pascals. Yan. Sabi niya dito, we have 0.75 atm. So we have here 0.875. Palitan natin to kasi red siya. Okay? Kuha ka na din. Kamaingay. Ayan. Now, we already have ATM here, and we need also to write ATM at the denominator of the next equation, which is now ATM. We are now, yes, okay na. Yan. Now, let's have here, what is the equivalent of 1 ATM here in Pascal? We have 101,325 Pascal. Canceling ATM, ATM will give you the unit of Pascal. Yan. Now, let's move on to the next one. Let's move on to the last one. Palitan ko lang. Ayan. The atmospheric pressure at a certain location is 0.85 atm. Okay, so parang ito yung sample problem lang kanina, class, that it's ATM, okay, 1 ATM, and then ATM din ito, we can use this one as, what do you call this one? Multiplication lang siya, so multiply lang po siya. Okay, so the pressure is 646 millimeters of mercury. Ayan. So, sabi niya dito, we have here the clinical relevance. Oxygen therapy in high altitude at lower atmospheric pressure, like example, which is the air evacuation, supplemental oxygen ensures proper oxygenation. So, what happens to our body at higher altitude? Okay, so these are the adaptations that we must get in order for us to adapt. Ayan. On higher altitudes. First class, you will feel sleepless. Ayan. Bakit nagiging inaantok ka? O hindi siya inaantok. Sleepless. Parang, what they call this one, hindi ka naantok. Okay? Because your breathing becomes shallow and your brain, class, sabihin niya, gumising ka. Gumising ka para huminga. Okay? Next one, breathing becomes faster. Sobrang bilis ng pagtibok ng puso mo. Kaya mabilis din yung paghinga mo. Okay? Your lungs try to keep up with lesser oxygen. And when your heart starts beating faster, it pumps faster. Ayan, to increase the quantity of oxygenated blood in your body. And if your oxygenated blood in your body increases, class, your blood becomes thicker. Why? Because the more oxygen, the red blood cells carry oxygen in your blood, making it, if there are more RBCs that makes up your blood, then your blood your blood becomes thicker. Ayan. So, you also urinate more often. Ihi ka ng ihi because your body is itself of excess body weight in the form of urine. And now, these are the normal responses to altitude gain. And it means your body is coping well with altitude if you feel these kind of things. Altitude sickness occurs when your body doesn't cope well with altitude. Ayan. Now, the ventilator. Yan. Itong ventilator kasi, class, ito, lalo na sa mga na-coma or mga what do you call this one? Mga na-coma, na-dyscrasia. Machines must be calibrated to ambient atmospheric pressure to deliver accurate airway pressure. Okay? So, please take note of those things. Excuse me. Please take note of those things since it will be included, okay, in your exam. Now, let's proceed to the next one. Wound healing, okay, so hyperbaric oxygen therapy, increase atmospheric pressure in hyperbaric chambers. It enhances oxygen delivery to tissues, which now promote wound healing. Now, let's move on to the Pascal's law. Okay, so when we say Pascal's law, class, it is a change in pressure applied to a confined fluid. Please take note of that. It is confined in a confined fluid. Ayan. So this law, class, it explains the pressure. That pressure, class, changes in a confined fluid that distribute uniformly, sabi niya nga kasi dyan, transmitted and diminished in all directions through the fluid medium. And this principle supports, class, the hydraulic-based machines. Yan. So, yun na yung katusunod niya mamaya, which is the hydraulic lifts. Tandaan po natin yan. Okay? The hydraulic lifts class in operating room patient tables, yun. And dental chairs operates using Pascal's law. Bakit? It helps nurses, it helps rad techs safely mobilize or para mabilis lang po nilang magalaw ang patients with minimal effort na hindi na nila kailangan buhatin ng buhatin. That can reduce musculoskeletal injury. Okay? Naintindihan po ba? So, this hydraulic lift class, okay, works in Pascal's law. Please take note of that. Tandaan po natin that the device that operates based on Pascal's law is the hydraulic lift, because this hydraulic lift class, it multiply force by transmitting fluid pressure throughout the system, which can now allow heavy loads to be lifted with minimal effort. Okay, as I have said a while back, class, that we can use hydraulic lift to transfer immobile patients safely. So this prevents falls, it can also protect fragile patients, and it can reduces nurse back strain. Para hindi na mahirapan ang mga nurses, ang mga medical, healthcare workers. And so we are given with the formula F sub 1 over A sub 1, which is also equal to F sub 2 over A sub 2. Ano nga bang ibig sabihin ng F sub 1? As you can see there, class, F sub 1 is the force applied on the small piston. Take note, it is force. That's why we are going to use piston. Newton, I should say. Pag may 1, again, pag may 1, it is small. Ganon din po si area. Meron po siyang 1, A sub 1, it is small, and its unit is square meter. Force exerted on the large piston naman, class. Kapag may 2 naman ang ating variable, then it is a large piston. Okay? For force on the large piston, we are going to use F sub 2. For the area, for the large piston is A sub 2. Okay, let's try to have this sample problem. Okay, now, the small piston area, or A sub 1, is equal to 0.01 square meter. The large piston area naman, class, is equal to 0.05 square meter. If a technologist applies 50 Newton on the small piston, what is the force exerted by the large piston? So, we already have their, class, the given. Now, let's just identify first now. The next to identify now is the unknown. Our unknown, class, is the force exerted on the large piston. Ibig sabihin, force. Now, sabi niya, large piston. So, if it is the F sub 2. Now, how are we going to derive a formula if we are given like a general formula like this? Cross multiply. F sub 1 is equal, F sub 1 times A sub 2 will give you F sub 1 times A sub 2. Okay? Now, cross multiply. F sub 2 times A sub 1 will give you F sub 2 A sub 1. Okay? Again, class, wala pa pong mag-isa sa magkabilaang equation. Okay, now, what is our unknown is F sub 2. Encircle lang po natin siya. Okay, so sino hindi na encircle? Si A sub 1. Okay, A sub 1 here, A sub 1. Take note, do not bring down. Do not ever bring down the unknown. Canceling this one will give you this formula. Okay, so that will now your formula. Okay, let's erase this. So, let's substitute. Sabi niya dyan, F sub 1 is 50 Newton. A sub 2 is 0.5 square meter. Your A sub 1 naman, class, it's 0.01 square meter. Canceling now the square meter will leave you Newton. That will give you an answer of, I think this is, kindly fix this, kasi I think this one is 250, if I'm not mistaken. Let me compute first. Okay. So, we have 50 Newton. This one kasi is 0.05 dapat. Okay. So, 50 times 0.05, that will give you 2.5. Okay, 2.5 over divided by 0.01 will give you, it's 250. It's not 500. It's 250. Okay? So, 250 Newton po ang sagot dito. It's not 500. Ayan. Okay, now let's move on to the activity. Okay, you may pause the activity. You may pause the activity tao. Ayan. You may pause the video in order for you to answer the activity. Okay, now let's identify. I'm not going to answer every activity, class. Pwede nyo siyang i-post and then answeran ninyo. Okay, so answeran lang natin itong unang activity. Yan. In a hydraulic patient lift, a force, sabi niya, a force of 60 Newton is applied on the small piston. Force and small piston, that will give you F sub 1. Okay? To lift a force of 100 Newton on the large piston. Newton yan, ibig sabihin, force na naman po yan. Okay, on the large piston, ibig sabihin large, F2. If the large piston has an area, okay, of 0.40 square meter, that will give you area, large piston will give you A sub 2. Okay, find the area of the small piston. Ibig sabihin, ang small piston, ang A sub 1 ang nawawala sa atin. Okay, again, the A sub 1 is the unknown. Okay, yan. Substitution lang po. That will give you 0.02 square meter. Ayan. So, you may na post the video so that you'll be able to, what do you call this one? To answer. And then, check nyo lang siya. Ayan. Okay, this one, the last one. Okay, it's 0.20 square meter. Okay, now what is the clinical relevance of this? Paulit-ulit lang po tayo sa ating sphygmomanometer, wherein air pressure in the cuff compresses the artery uniformly to measure blood pressure. Okay, so this one, class, is the normal blood flow, wherein there is no occlusion of blood flow. Ibig sabihin, hindi mo pa nilagay yung cuff. Okay, yung ito. Hindi mo pa siya nilalagay. So, when there is blood occlusion, class, sabi niya dyan, the cuff pressure now blocks blood flow. Binablock niya yung blood flow. Okay, in order for you to hear. Okay, to hear pulse. Wherein, the systolic pressure naman, class, the systolic pressure is greater than the cuff pressure. That's why you can hear a pulse. But there, if the diastolic pressure is greater than the cuff pressure, you cannot hear any pulse. Ayan. Now, for IV pressure infusion bags, nurses apply external pressure to speed up fluid delivery. Okay? So, kung mapapansin niyo dyan, class, when it comes to emergency kasi, class, there are times that we need to limit or to, what do you call this one? To increase. Ayan. To increase the pressure, okay, inside. Ayan. So, meron tayong dito sa may IV pressure infusion bags, you can see the pressure here. Ayan. Tapos, may mga iniikot-ikot kasi ang mga nurses dito eh. Ayan. Okay? Now, let's have here the urinary catheter system. So, siyempre, kapag sobrang taas ng binigay mong pressure dyan, class, pwedeng ma-damage yung pinag-insertan mo ng catheter. Pwedeng ma-damage yung genitalia or any tissues inside. Okay? That, wherein you have administered or you have placed the catheter. And make sure that the catheter is microbes-free. Yan. So, let's now have the Archimedes principle. When we say Archimedes principle, class, it's a body immersed in a fluid buoyed up. Ibig sabihin ng buoyed up, class, lumutang. Okay? By a force. Just take note of that. By a force equal to the weight of the fluid displaced. Example, nasa gitna ka ng dagat. Yan. Ito po yung bangka mo. Ito yung tubig, dagat. tubig dagat. This one is the fluid displaced. Instead kasi na pumunta siya sa loob, na displaced po siya. Okay, that is the fluid displaced that can now help the boat to float. Ayan. Okay? So, we are given with the formula FB. Sabi ko sa inyo, it's not Facebook, it's buoyant force, which is equal to rho. This P here is the fluid density, rho, spelled as RHO, wherein rho, or it is also known as the fluid density. The V here, take note class, si rho, ang kanyang unit ay kilogram per cubic meter. Ang ating volume naman class, it is cubic meter. Ang ating G, always yan, 9.8 meter per second squared. Okay, naintindihan po ba? So, how are we going to assess, or how are we going to know how do we know? Yeah. How do we know if the boat or an object will sink or will it float? Take note, we have different conditions here. Ang sabi niya po dyan, if the buoyant force is greater than the weight, the object floats. If the buoyant force naman is less than the weight, the object sinks. And if the buoyant force and the weight is equal to each other, the object stays neutrally buoyant. But how are we going to get the weight? Okay? Take note that the formula for weight is equal to m, which is the mass. Ano na naman ang G dito? It's your 9.8 meter per second squared. Take note that meter per second squared and the mass unit is kilograms. If you're going to combine kilograms and meter per second squared, that will give you the compressed unit for kilogram times meter per second. Kilograms times meter per second squared is also known as your Newton. Okay? In that way, we were now able to compare buoyant force in Newton kasi to eh. Yan, in Newton, and weight in Newton. Ayan. Okay, please take note of the given conditions. Now, let's have here the formula in order for us to help find missing values. Like, for example, if there is no mass, volume, or fluid density. Just cross-multiply this one, class. Cross-multiply nyo lang po yan. Like what I taught you. Ganun lang din po siya kabilis. Ayan. Sample problem natin. It says there that a block of metal has a volume of 0.02 cubic meter. Cubic meter, class, it's your volume. And a mass of 15 kilograms. This is the mass. Will it float in water? Which water? Take note, the constant unit for the standard or the constant value of water when it comes to fluid density is 1,000 kilogram per cubic meter. Now, we are given with the formula FB is equal to rho VG. Take note, class, what is our rho? Ito, or the fluid density. Since it's water, 1,000 kilogram per cubic meter. Take note, kung wala pong sinabi na 1,000 kilogram per cubic meter, it means, class, kung nakita nyo na yung word na water, then this is the equivalent. Okay? What is our V? 0.002 cubic meter. And our G, class, is 9.8 meter per second squared. Okay, it's 9.8 meter per second squared. Now, let's cancel cubic meter. What was that? Is 1,000 kilograms times 0.02 times 9.8 meter per second squared. That will give you, okay, ilan ang buoyant force natin? Ba't nag-compute naman na siya? Okay, 19.16. Okay, so our buoyant force is 19.16 Newton. Okay, so since it is 19.16 Newton ang ating buoyant force, lagyan natin dito 19.16 Newton. Buoyant force yan na. Now, let's find for mass. mass is equal to, weight is equal to mass times G. Mass is 15 kilograms. What is your G? 9.8 meter per second squared. That will give you 147 Newton. Okay. Now, let's compare the weight and the 19.6 Newton, 16 Newton buoyant force. Okay. So, si 147 is greater than 19.60 Newton, or 19.60 Newton is less than 147 Newton, wherein the 147 Newton here, class, is the weight. Mas mataas ang weight kaysa sa buoyant force. Ibig sabihin, kung mas mataas ang weight kaysa sa buoyant force, or the buoyant force is less than the weight, then the object will eventually sink. Magsisink po yan. Okay, now, let's have here. Ayan, so the block buoyant force is less than the weight, so the block sinks. Okay, now let's have here an activity. Isa lang naman ito, yung pina-activity ko sa inyo. A hollow ball weighs 10 Newton in air and displaces 0.15 cubic meter of water when submerged. Will it float or sink? How are you going to answer this? Of course, you need to identify first the different given. Okay? Now, the given here, class, is 0.015 cubic meter. That is your volume. 10 Newton here, class, sabi niya weighs. Ibig sabihin, there's no need for you to find for the weight. Okay? Now, ma'am, wala nang iba for the buoyant force. Take note, class, the given there is water. So, our rho, class, or the rho here is already given. Okay? Constant po yan, 1,000 kilogram per cubic meter. And then, we also have here the V, 0.015 cubic meter. Meron pa po tayong multiply ang ating gravity, 9.8 meter per second square. Take note, di ako naglagay ng bar line sa gitna. Ibig sabihin mo, multiply nyo pa rin yan. Kadugtong niya. Okay? Karugtong niya yan. Okay? Now, let's have here. Ayan, yung computation niya po. Okay, so let's compare since ang ating buoyant force, kapag sinubstitute na po natin, it's 147. And our weight is only 10 Newton. So, 147 is greater than 10 Newton na weight natin. This is the weight, this is the buoyant force. That's why the buoyant force is greater than the weight. The buoyant force is greater than the weight of the ball. That's why it will float. Okay? Ayan. So, for hydrotherapy patients, class, kapag masakit yung buto-buto or muscles ng mga patients natin, okay, so they can use hydrotherapy in order for them to reduce weight bearing. We also have here weight estimation. So, some rehab units use water displacement for assessing body composition and buoyancy changes. Ayan. Now, let's proceed with hydrostatic pressure. Mabilis lang po itong si hydrostatic pressure, wherein, when we say hydrostatic pressure, class, it is the pressure exerted by a fluid. Okay? It is the pressure exerted by a fluid. Wait lang. Okay, so sabi niya dito, it increases any variable that increases with pressure. So, kung mapapansin niyo mamaya dito sa ano natin, class, sa clinical relevance nito, class, this explains why IV bag height affects. Okay? So, mas mataas or higher intravenous bag, mas mataas ang hydrostatic pressure niya. And faster fluid flow. So, nurses adjust, or the nurses can adjust height to regulate infusion when no pump is used. Okay, that is the, what do you call this one, the importance of hydrostatic pressure when it comes to medical field. Okay, now, let's have here the formula P, or the hydrostatic pressure, is equal to rho GH. When you say rho, okay, rho is the density of the fluid in kilogram per cubic meter. Kapag water, it is 1,000 kilogram per cubic meter. Kapag unknown fluid, you have to derive a formula for it. Okay, just derive the formula. Let's say, for example, your unknown class, mamaya tayo mag-derive. Okay, the G class constant, 9.8 meter per second squared. And for H, it's the depth of the fluid in meter. Example, the unknown is rho. The unknown is rho. Encircle nyo lang po. Let's just encircle our unknown. Example, rho ang nawawala. Ano ang katabi ni rho? Si G and H. Nung binaba mo dyan, yun din ang ibababa mo dito. Canceling this one will give you rho is equal to hydrostatic pressure over G times H. Let's have a sample problem here, class. An IV bag is placed 0.8 meter above the patient's vein. The fluid has a density of 1,000 kg per cubic meter. What is the hydrostatic pressure? Okay, so let's solve this one. We have hydrostatic pressure is equal to rho GH. Rho GH. Since it's rho GH now, class, ang mangyayari here, class, is that no need for derivation. Okay, since we have 0.8 meters, we have here the H. And sabi niya, density, which is 1,000 kg, that is now your rho. And the gravity, class, is 9.8 since it is being given, or it is a standard form, or it's a constant. Okay? And then, that will give you 7,840 Pascal. Okay, now let's have here an activity. So, mabilis lang to. Nandyan na lahat. So, a nurse submerges a container, sabi niya dyan, it's 1.5 meters, that is high, depth, 1,000 kg per cubic meter, here is your rho. Ano pa ang nawawala? Okay, the unknown is hydrostatic pressure. So, ang ating formula, sabi niya dito, hydrostatic pressure is equal to the rho. Meron ba tayong rho? Meron ba tayong G? Meron ba tayong H? Yes, all of them are present. That's why we can substitute now. Okay, that will give us 14,700 Pascal. Okay, so same with this activity naman, class, the depth ang hinahanap. So if the formula is like this one, asan ang depth? Ang H. Encircle H and then bring down rho G. And then bring down rho G. Cancel rho and G will give you this formula. Okay, you may substitute it and you may compute the unknown or the depth. Pascal ito 19,620 Pascal, that is your P. 1,000 kg per cubic meter, that is your rho. Ano ang G? Tandaan, it's a constant 9.8 meter per second squared. Okay. Ayan lang po siya. Now, let's see. Tama ba yung ating formula? Okay. Take a look at the formula. Okay. Ayan. Now, substituted na po. Nag-substitute na po ang ating pressure, ang ating rho, ang ating gravity. That will give us 2 meters. Okay. So, kayo naman, pwede nyo tong i-solve. Pause niyo yung video and then you may solve. Excuse me. Okay, let's see if your answers are correct. Ang unknown po dito, it's an unknown liquid. Ibig sabihin, hindi po siya water. That's why you have to derive a formula. Rho ang nawawala. Substitute it. That will give you, okay, the rho or the density of the fluid is 1,001 kg per cubic meter. Ayan, paulit-ulit lang po tayo. Higher elevation of the intravenous bag can increase hydrostatic pressure, which can now enhance the flow rate of the fluid inside the intravenous bag. Let's now move on to the next one, edema and positioning. So, kapag masakit ang hita ninyo pag uwi nyo galing bahay, you can elevate your legs kapag nakahiga na kayo above the heart level. Paano po ito? Maglagay lang kayo ng mas mataas sa
kapag nakatihaya kayo, mas mataas heart level ninyo. Naunan or any material na pwedeng pagpatungan ng paa ninyo that can reduce hydrostatic pressure in veins. That can decrease the occurrence of edema. Ayan. We can also have here venous return. Kapag nasobrahan ka sa pagtayo or paglakad-lakad, ayan. So, hydrostatic forces help explain blood pooling in the legs when standing too long. Kapag nasa minor stage ka pa lang po, class, it's spider veins pa lang. Okay? Siguro konti-konti pa lang nakikita mo. So, when it comes to reticular varicose veins, medyo showy na siya. Pag varicose veins trunk, nagkakaroon na po siya ng trunk like a tree. Okay, kapag chronic venous insufficiency, medyo may nakikita ka ng mga reddish area. Okay? So, dito naman sa trophic ulcers class, parang siguro nahirapan ka ng tumayo or di ka na makatayo kasi nga masakit. Sobrang sakit niya. Ayan. Ayan. Okay? Now, let's have here gases that have unique properties. First is compressibility. Ayan. Sa mga radtech, panoorin nyo lang po ang hanggang sa part po ng what do you call this one? Kahit hanggang dun lang po kayo sa part ng this one, hydrostatic pressure. Okay? So, another example question class. Why does liquid pressure increase with depth? Okay, bakit kaya? Why does liquid pressure increase with depth? Because the more liquid molecules exert downward, that is due to gravity. And the hydrostatic pressure class increases proportionally with fluid depth because fluid weight accumulates. And the deeper layers experience greater force from the weight of the fluid above. Okay, now in our body class, when the blood pressure in veins increases in the lower extremities due to gravity, alam niyo naman ako saan yung lower extremities ninyo, this concept explains why dependent edema occurs and why elevating legs improve venous return in patients with venous insufficiency or pag meron po silang varicose veins or heart failure. Okay, so bakit kaya, yun yung tanong kanina class, that why do we need to put the intravenous bag at a higher elevation? Because the more hydrostatic pressure due to greater height difference can help hydrostatic pressure flow rate. So, fluids moves from high to low, di ba? Fluids can flow from high to low. Hindi pwedeng baliktarin yan. Hindi pa magpa-flow ang fluid kapag low to high. Maybe in the capillary action, pwede. But, hindi naman siya nagpo-flow. Okay? So, fluids move from high to low potential energy. Elevating an IV bag can increase pressure at the catheter tip kapag may yung, what do you call this one, dun sa catheter kanina, it's not included here in the hydrostatic pressure, but it's also relevant in learning hydrostatic pressure. Okay? So, before using infusion pumps, nurses adjust IV bag height to regulate flow. And if the bag is too low, yun sinasabi ko sa inyo, pag masyadong mababa, the flow shows or backflows. Pag nag-backflow po yung intravenous fluid, pwede siyang humila ng tubig. Okay, so in some emergency class like dehydration or nagkaroon ng shock, lifting the IV bag increases gravity-driven infusion speed. Ibig sabihin, mas mataas ang flow rate niya. Okay? Ayan. Saan na tayo? Okay? Now, let's have here the compressibility of gases. Okay? First unique property of a gas, it can be compressed. Pwede mo po siyang i-compress. Yan. Unlike liquids, gases can be compressed. Ang expansion naman class, nafi-fill out niya or nafi-fill in niya po yung container niya. Okay, ibig sabihin nun class, napupuno niya yung container niya. Like for example, yung tangke ng gasolette natin or ng gasol, yung balloon. Low density. Kapag nasa open air area ka, hindi mabigat ang air. Unlike kapag pinakiramdaman mo ang tubig mabigat, mas lalo na ang solid. why is it that there is low density in gases is that their particles are very far apart. Sa diffusion and effusion naman, class. Okay? Sa diffusion and, what do you call this one? And diffusion and effusion, the gases spread and move through membranes. Okay? Yung gases po, class, it can easily move through the membranes of our body. Okay? Ayan. Now, let's move on to the kinetic molecular theory. So, in the kinetic molecular theory, class, or the KMT, it is a scientific model that explains the behavior of gases in terms of motion of their molecules. And it states that the particles of matter are in constant motion. So, magalaw sila. Constant. Ibig sabihin, hindi po sila tumitigil sa paggalaw. And their kinetic energy depends on temperature. Nakadepende daw po ang galaw ng mga particles sa temperatura. Okay? The theory provides a foundation for understanding pressure, temperature, and the volume relationship in gases. Ayan. Now, let's see, class, the postulates of the kinetic molecular theory. The matter, class, is composed of tiny particles of atoms or molecules that are in constant random motion. Okay? These collisions between particles are elastic. Ibig sabihin, pag elastic siya, there is no energy loss, since the law of conservation of energy tells us that energy cannot be created nor destroyed, but it is being transferred or being transformed to another type of energy. Just like, for example, kumain tayo. Yung pagkain, it's chemical energy. That chemical energy, class, that energy that we ate or that we consume, class, it is not destroyed. Ibig sabihin, hindi po siya nasira. It is being transformed to mechanical energy. Yung chemical energy dun, class, nag-transform siya to mechanical energy. Paano naging mechanical energy, ma'am? Because of that chemical energy, we were able to create or to move. We were able to do work. Why? Because of that chemical energy. And that working is what we call mechanical energy. Okay? So, let's say, for example, another one. Energy coming from the battery. It's a stored energy. Okay? So, it's stored energy because potential. If it's potential, it has the potential to give or to generate energy. Okay, so stored energy or chemical energy po nandun sa battery, but then when you put it in a radio, what happens is that it can produce sound energy. That's why energy is not lost, it is being transformed lang. Particles are far apart compared to their size with negligible volume for gases. No attractive or repulsive forces act between gas particles and the average kinetic energy. It's directly proportional to temperature in Kelvin. What does it mean, class? Pag mataas ang temperatura, the higher the average kinetic energy, ibig sabihin, the temperature is very high. Or if the temperature is very high, the kinetic energy is also high. Okay, naintindihan? Take note, as temperature increases, the kinetic energy of molecules increases, causing them to move faster. Faster movement increases pressure in a closed container. Let's say, for example, pumunta kayo sa Tagaytay. Ay, nung pumunta kayo sa Tagaytay, yung gulong na ginamit ninyo, class, is very full of, alam niyo yun, yung nahanginan siya ng sobra-sobra. And ang day, or ang time na pinag-travel ninyo, class, sobrang init. Okay? Tandaan ninyo that when the temperature increases, the movement of the molecule inside the container can also increase, or the molecules increase, wherein this molecule class will cause them, the temperature increase can cause the molecules to move faster. And kapag mataas ang movement or sobrang bilis ng movement ng mga molecules class, it increases pressure in a closed container. What will happen to that? A closed container is that mag-burst out siya, puputok yung gulong. That's why kung mapapansin ninyo, kung malapit kayo sa daan, tapos yung daanan na pinanggagalingan ng mga, yun yung dinadaanan ng mga container vans or yung mga may mabibigat na karga like cement, yung rods, gabi or madaling araw sila bumabiyahe. Kasi mainit yung daan. Pag mainit ang daan, okay, there is a higher tendency for the wheels to burst out. Diba? Kaya kapag pupunta kayo sa ibang lugar at babiyahe kayo ng tanghali, ganon, you lessen or control the gas or the air of your wheels. Okay? And also, kapag may birthday party, diba? Usually, ang mga balloons dinidisplay. Kapag yung balloons class is na-expose siya sa sobrang init na area, puputok yan. Bakit? Mataas yung temperatura, yung molecules dun sa loob, yung gas molecules inside that balloon, its movement will increase. It will move faster. And that faster movement increases pressure. And what will happen to that balloon? Ang nangyayari, pumuputok po siya. Okay? Please always remember that. Okay, now, let's have here the clinical relevance, respiration, and gas exchange. So it explains how oxygen and carbon dioxide move rapidly between alveoli and blood due to molecular motion and pressure differences. Yan na rin yung effusion and diffusion. Increased temperature or metabolic activity enhances molecular kinetic energy, yan, aiding diffusion. Okay. So, it's for the inhalation naman class, for inhalation, as the thoracic cavity expands, pressure decreases. Kaya kapag humihinga po tayo, ang pressure bumababa, allowing air to enter the lungs. So this reflects molecular motion and pressure volume relationships, which will be discussed in the Boyle's law. Okay? So, dito naman po sa ating aerosol and nebulizer therapy class, so gas molecules in motion help convert liquid medication, lalong-lalo na yung mga may asthma sa inyo. Diba? There is a liquid class dito. Dito ba yun? Ewan ko, dito ata yan. Okay, na nilalagay, and then it will turn into mist. Ito yung mist. Yan, mist. That is being inhalated or being inhalated by a patient. So, faster molecular motion leads to more effective drug delivery. Okay? Now, I think we will be moving on to the different gas laws. For the Boyle's law, okay, we have P1 V1 is equal to P2 V2. And they have inverse relation of pressure and volume. For Charles' law naman class, we have V1 over T1 is equal to V2 over T2. They have direct relation between volume and temperature. For Gay-Lussac's naman, we have P1 over T1 is equal to P2 over T2. There is a direct relation of pressure and temperature. Yan. Okay. Let's now move on to the first one. For the Boyle's law, pressure is inversely proportional to volume at constant temperature. Take note class, there is volume, there is pressure. Sa ating mga gas laws class, we have pressure, volume, and temperature. Kapag ang isa sa kanila ay wala, ibig sabihin yun yung constant. Say for example, ang available lang ay P and V. Ibig sabihin nun Boyle's law yun. Ibig sabihin nun, the constant is the temperature. Okay? Take note of that. Now, let's have here the formula P1 is equal to P1 times V1 is equal to P2 V2. Okay? What is P1, initial pressure. Ang V1, it's initial volume. Ang P2 is the final pressure, and the V2 is the final volume. So, take note that when temperature is constant, the pressure of a gas is inversely proportional to its volume. Okay, let's have a sample problem. A patient breathes in air at a pressure of 760 millimeters of mercury. So, it's 760 millimeters of mercury. Take note, that is your pressure. Is it P1, P2? Class, it's P1. With a lung volume, this is your V. Lung volume, V1. If the lung volume nag-expand, ibig sabihin, this volume expanded, lumaki siya. Okay, that's why it's your V2. What will be the new pressure? Pag sinabing new pressure, it's the final pressure. So, P2 is unknown. P2 is unknown. Okay, let's derive the formula. P2 is unknown. So, bilugan natin. Ano hindi na bilugan? Si V2. Okay, kung anong binaba mo, yun din na ilalagay mo sa kabila. Canceling this one, that will give you the formula P1 V1 is equal over V2. Okay, let's now substitute. And substituting it, class, will give you 760 millimeters of mercury as your P1. Your V1 is 0.5 liters and your V2 is 5 liters, giving you now the what do you call this one? Giving you now the answer, which is 76 millimeters of mercury. Take note, class, in here that there is an increase of volume, but when it comes to the pressure, nag-decrease siya from 760 to 76 millimeters of mercury. Ibig sabihin nun, class, pag tumaas ang volume, bababa ang pressure. Pag tumaas ang pressure, bababa ang volume. Okay? So, this explains why lungs draw in air as volume increases. Kapag ang lungs kasi natin, class, kapag nag-inhale tayo, the volume increases. Ibig sabihin nun, class, hinahayaan ng lung natin na pumasok yung hangin since the pressure is low. Okay? Naintindihan po ba? Kapag nag-exhale naman tayo, class, mataas ang pressure kasi nailabas natin yung hangin. Okay. Yan, activity. You may solve this. Mabilis lang po siya. Find the initial pressure. Let's try. Initial pressure. Ito ang nawawala. Ibig sabihin, ano ibababa natin? Si V1. Okay, and then V1 also here. Canceling this one. Ito na po yung formula natin. Okay, let's substitute. Sabi niya dito, what is the the final pressure, sabi niya, a syringe initially contains an unknown pressure. Ibig sabihin, pressure na po ang unknown. When the plunger is pulled to the volume increases from 40 ml to 100 ml. Ibig sabihin, this one is your V1 and this one is your V2. Okay? Now, the final pressure is measured as 80 kilopascal. Take note that 1 kilopascal is equal to 1,000 pascal. Okay? And the standard unit used in order for you to compute gas loss, class, it's kilopascal. Okay, find the initial pressure. Okay, now 80 kilopascal now is your P2. Now we can substitute. Ito na po yung substitution niya. And the answer is 200 kilopascal. Okay, you may try the activity also here. And then, pwede nyo i-check yung sagot ninyo by resuming the video if you have posted. Ayan. Itong mga solvings dito, yun din lang ang lalabas sa inyong mga exam. Kaya please do review it well. Ayan. Ayan. Now, Boyle's law is applied in mechanical ventilators used in imaging rooms. Ibig sabihin nito, class, yung mga mechanical ventilators, kung bakit nakakahinga yung mga patient na naghihingalo na. Tapos, bakit kaya kapag nag-e-x-ray ang, excuse me, bakit kaya kapag ine-x-ray nila ang mga taong unconscious, okay lang? Because of mechanical ventilators. Okay? That's why it is used in imaging rooms. It helps understand how air behaves in the lungs when pressure changes, and it's also relevant in handling syringes and contrast media injections. Yan. For the Charles law naman, class, at constant pressure, the volume of a gas is directly proportional to its absolute temperature. Take note dito, class, ang ating constant dito is the pressure since we only have V and T. Okay? So, V1 is the initial volume. T1 is the initial temperature. Take note, your temperature must be in Kelvin. How are we going to convert Kelvin, class? Temperature in degrees Celsius, add mo lang si 273. Pero kapag ang hinihingi niya, class, is from Kelvin to degrees Celsius, you are going to subtract. Example, ang sagot mo dito is, the Kelvin is 300 Kelvin. Okay, minus mo siya sa 273. That will give you the value of degrees Celsius. Kapag degrees Celsius ang hinihingi, minus 273. 273. Pag Kelvin naman ang hinihingi, class, you just need to add 273. Okay, I hope that we are clear with that. Now, sample problem. Sabi niya dito, a gas volume has an initial volume. A gas has a volume of 2.5 liter at an initial pressure of 27 degrees Celsius. It is then heated to the final temperature, which is 177 degrees Celsius. What is the new volume? Take note, class, this temperature here must be converted to Kelvin. That's why you are going to add 273. Okay, take note of that. Ayan. So, add 27 degrees Celsius plus 273 will give you 300 Kelvin. The next, 177 degrees Celsius plus 273, that will give you 450 Kelvin. So, how are we going to derive for the formula of the unknown? Since the unknown is V2 or the new volume, cross-multiply lang, class. As usual, dun sa may Pascal's law. V1 times T2 will give you V1, excuse me, T2. V2 times T1, V2 T1. Again, our unknown is the V2 or the new volume. Okay, encircle lang po natin ang ating V2. Wag na wag nyo ibababa ang unknown. Ibaba natin yung hindi nabilugan. T1, T1. Canceling T1 will give you this formula. Tama ba ang formula natin dito? Okay, V1, T2. O, ito, pagsamahin nyo lang ito, class. Same lang sila. V1 times T2 over T1. Okay, that is now the formula. Okay, substitute nyo lang po, class. That will give you 3.75 liters. So, with the next activity, class, ito naman kasi, class, what is the final temperature in degrees Celsius? Paano ito? Okay, so meron na tayong formula. Our unknown is T2. Okay? Ganito lang siya. This one, it must be converted into Kelvin. Ito na yun. Okay, ngayon, ang sagot dyan is temperature. Since ang sagot dyan ay 390 degrees Celsius, Kelvin, I should say, since naka-Kelvin na po ito, ang ating temperature, since the, what do you call this one, our answer is in Kelvin already, class, you need to subtract 273 in order for you to get degrees Celsius. Okay? So, kapag ang hinihingi ay degrees Celsius, you need to subtract 273. Pero pag ang nasa conversion pa lang kayo or nasa substitution level pa lang kayo, you need to convert degrees Celsius to Kelvin. Only the final answer, if it is asking for degrees Celsius, that is the only time that you are going to subtract 273. Okay? So, this one also. Okay, so this is in degrees Celsius. That's why you are going to convert it into Kelvin. Okay, just convert it into Kelvin. Yan. And then you may now substitute. Kapag nakakuha na kayo ng formula, itong formula lang, cross-multiply kayo nyo. And then, you are given now the formula V1 is equal to V2 times T1 over T2. That will give you 0.70 liters. Okay, for the Gay-Lussac's law, at constant volume, the pressure of a given amount of gas is directly proportional to its absolute temperature. So we are given with the formula P1 over T1 is equal to P2 over T2. Okay, cross-multiply nyo lang po ulit yan in order to get a derived formula. P1 T2 is equal to P2 T1. What is our unknown? Say for example, our unknown is T2. Okay, where is T2? Andito siya. Okay, baba nyo lang po yung P1 kasi siya po ay hindi nabilugan. Okay, canceling P1, same variable, will give you the formula T2 is equal to P2 times T1 over P1. Ayan. Okay, take note, always convert temperature to Kelvin wherein degrees Celsius, i-add mo po siya sa 273. Ulitin ko, pero kapag degrees Celsius naman po, ang hinihingi ng huling or ng final answer, kapag ang hinihingi ay degrees Celsius, just subtract 273. Okay? So, a sealed, let's say for example, a sealed container glass has an initial pressure. Ibig sabihin, this one is the initial pressure, P1. And an initial temperature of 27 degrees Celsius, T1. Okay? This one, it must be converted into Kelvin. Kaya mag-add tayo ng 273. That will give you 300 Kelvin. Ano naman ito? The container is heated to 127 degrees Celsius. Add tayo dyan. Okay? So, it will become Kelvin now. Okay, tandaan nyo, kapag nasa process pa lang kayo ng substitution, make sure that all degrees Celsius must be converted into Kelvin. Pero pag nasa final answer kayo, let's say for example, convert the temperature into degrees Celsius, sabi ng ng problem, dun lang po yung time that you are going to subtract 273 kung Kelvin to degrees Celsius. Okay? So, our P2 here, substituted na po lahat yan. It's 160 kilopascal. Okay. So, you may answer this one. Ayan. A pressure vessel contains a gas at unknown initial pressure. So, ang unknown initial pressure, it's P1 ang nawawala. Okay. Ganun lang po mag-analyze. When heated from 20 degrees Celsius, that will give you T1. To 100 degrees Celsius, that will give you T2. The pressure becomes 500 kilopascal, or that will now give you the P2. So, find the initial pressure or the P1. Okay, just cross-multiply class, cross-multiply, and then P1, T2 is equal to P2, T1. Our unknown is P1. Nasaan si P1? Nandito. Okay, bilugan. Sino yung bababa? Si T2. And then T2, canceling T2 here will give you the formula. Do we have the same formula as this? Yes, of course. We have the same formula. That's why you now will be able to convert degrees Celsius. Okay, converting now degrees Celsius to Kelvin. That will give you 20 degrees Celsius plus 273, 293. And then, so with 100 degrees Celsius plus 273 will give you 373 Kelvin. Now, we can now substitute now. Take note, you cannot substitute gas laws if the temperature is still in degrees Celsius. Make sure that it is being, what do you call this one? It is being converted into Kelvin. Okay? Huwag kayong mag-substitute pag di siya naging Kelvin. Tapos, final temperature, paulit-ulit ko sinasabi sa inyo, pag ang final temperature, hinihingi niya ay degrees Celsius, just subtract it. Okay? Okay, it's 392.5 kilopascal. Okay? May also answer this one. A gas sample. Okay? Basahin nyo na lang and then you may answer this. Okay, check ninyo kung tama yung mga pinagsasagot ninyo. O, tulad niyan, nag-convert siya. Since, sabi niya, determine the initial temperature of the gas in Kelvin and in degrees Celsius. So, this one is the final answer in Kelvin. Ngayon, sabi niya, in Kelvin and degrees Celsius, that's why, kinonvert niya rin into degrees Celsius. Tandaan dapat kung ganito ang question, make sure to convert it. Now, let's move on to the intermolecular forces. Okay. So, sa intermolecular forces class, bakit kayo nagkakadikit-dikit sila? Okay, these are attractive or repulsive forces that act between molecules, and they are weaker than chemical bonds but have a significant influence on physical properties such as boiling point, the melting point, the solubility, and the surface tension, as well as viscosity. Okay. Excuse me, class. Ayan. So, here are the types. It's not only two, but we have different types of intermolecular forces. I'm sorry for that. Okay, now, let's move on to London dispersion forces. Wait lang, class. Kati na nalabunan ko. Okay, just wait for a while. Okay, let's now continue for the intermolecular forces class. For London dispersion forces class, there is a weak temporary attractions present in all molecules, especially in non-polar substances. Okay, tandaan po natin that in London dispersion forces class, usually na nag-aakar dito class are non-polar. Ibig sabihin kapag ang non-polar class, ang kanilang electronegativity difference, it's less than 0.05, it's less than 0.05 or 0. Okay? Now, paano nangyayari ito, class? Why is it called temporary dipoles? Because temporary dipoles can, pwedeng mawala yung dipoles na to. Or pwede silang bumalik sa dati. Let's say, for example, class, paano nagkakaroon ng attractive forces? Dito sa area nito, class, more on negative siya. Negative, 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 negative. And according to the law of charges class, like charges repel and unlike charges attract. Ibig sabihin, kapag puro negative itong area na to class, magre-repel yan. Dun ako sa may dito kasi walang masyadong, what do you call this one? Wala akong ire-repel doon kasi puro negative kasi ang mga nandito eh. Okay? So, kung puro negative sila, ibig sabihin, magre-repel sila. Saan sila pupunta? Doon sa kabilang side. Imbes, kapag nawalan ito ng electrons, ang mangyayari dyan, class, is that magiging positive po siya. Magiging positive siya. Kapag naging positive ito, class, ang mangyayari dito naman na area, class, magiging attractive sila or mag-a-attract silang dalawa since negative ito tapos positive ito. Because according to the law of charges, class, unlike charges attract and like charges repel. Okay, yun lang po for London dispersion forces. And additional information for London dispersion forces, class, is that they are the weakest type of intermolecular force. Let's say, for example, sa alcohol, bakit kaya sa alcohol, class, mabilis mag-dry? Because it has a very weak intermolecular forces, kaya mabilis siyang mag-evaporate. Ayan. So, it's arising from temporary fluctuations in the electron distribution within atoms in a molecule. So, what do you call this one? It's
present in all molecules but are most significant for nonpolar. Okay, take note class, pag nonpolar, it's either the same ang kanilang element, like for example, oxygen gas or O2. Ano ba? I-minus mo silang dalawa, magiging 0. Ano pa? Yung methane, the methane. Okay, CH. CH lang. Carbon and hydrogen, its electronegativity. Sila lang yung molecules na magkaiba ang kanilang element, pero under nonpolar sila. Bakit? Kasi they have an electronegativity difference of, I think that is 0.04. And in order for a molecule or a substance or a compound to be nonpolar, it must have a less than 0.05 electronegativity. Okay? Now, let's move on to dipole-dipole interactions. For dipole-dipole interactions class, these are in between, they occurs usually between polar molecules. Ano yung mga polar molecules? Like say for example, sodium chloride, gano'n na magkaiba ang kanilang electronegativity. That's why the electronegativity is higher than 0.05. Okay? So since it occurs between molecules which are polar, wherein the positive end of one molecule is attracted to the negative end of another, di ba? NaCl. Okay. Magkakaroon po ng attraction since sodium will now give electrons to chlorine. Ito magiging positive. Ito naman magiging negative. What will happen to them is that they will attract each other. That's why it's what we call permanent dipoles. Okay? So these forces class are stronger than dispersion forces. And for a molecule to experience dipole-to-dipole forces, it must have a permanent dipole moment. Okay? So the other one is slightly positive and the other is slightly negative. Okay? So yun yung in-example ko. Ano pa? Hydrogen chloride, sulfur dioxide. Okay? Those are the examples. Okay, now let's move on to the hydrogen bonds. Ang hydrogen bonds class, you will encounter this one on your biochemistry. Okay? Si hydrogen bonds kasi class, or hydrogen bonding, it's a special strong dipole forces involving hydrogen bond, and it has an highly electronegative atoms. What are the three highly electronegative atoms? We have the oxygen, nitrogen, and the fluorine. And the fluorine is the most electronegative atoms. Okay? So when we say hydrogen bonding class, it's a special particularly strong type of dipole-dipole interaction that occurs when hydrogen is bonded to a highly electronegative atom. Okay? Kapag si hydrogen, nakibag-bond siya sa isang highly electronegative atom. Okay, what are examples of highly electronegative atoms? We have oxygen. So, papansin nyo, kapag nakipag-bond siya sa oxygen class, magkakaroon po ng hydrogen bonding. And this hydrogen atom forms a strong attraction between, or interaction with the lone pair. Ano yung lone pair class? Yung wala silang kaband, di ba? Okay, na mga electrons. On the neighboring electronegative atoms, kaya dikit-dikit sila. Yun ang nangyayari. Okay? So, what do you call this one? Let's say, for example, class for hydrogen bonds is the water. Sa water. Bakit kaya? Okay? Bakit kaya kapag ang needle, dinirect mo siyang binitawan sa tubig, ang nangyayari, class, is that hindi lumulubog si needle. Because nagkukumpulan ang hydrogen bonds. Ibig sabihin nun, class, walang area kung saan magpe-penetrate yung needle. Diba? If you have experienced that. Okay? So, the hydrogen bonds between water molecules are responsible, okay, for surface tension. Take note of that, surface tension. Naintindihan? Okay. We also have here ion dipoles. Kapag ions naman, class, para siyang ka-partner ni dipole to dipole. Kasi ang pinaka-example din nito, class, is the sodium chloride in water. Okay? So this occurs between ions and polar molecules important in dissolving ionic compounds in water. Let's say for example, ang i-dissolve mo, class, is the sodium chloride. NaCl. Okay? So sodium chloride, you are going to dissolve it in water, and it interact with the partial charges or on water molecules that will now can lead you to a dissolved sodium chloride. Okay? Ayan po siya. Then, okay, the clinical relevance for medication and solubility and absorption. So, many drugs rely on hydrogen bonding and dipole interactions to dissolve in bodily fluids. Okay, and for the intravenous fluid compatibility, understanding ion-dipole forces helps nurses check drug fluid compatibility to prevent precipitation or loss of potency. So, very common naman to. So, let's say for example na lang, kapag ang fluid kasi, pwede siyang mag-evaporate. Okay? So, kapag nag-precipitate or nag-evaporate na po, yung drugs na yun, or yung medical drug, it can lose potency. Di ba nga, kapag ang isang tablet, kapag na-expose siya sa air, ang ginagawa po natin, hindi na po natin iniinom. Kasi nga daw, na-expose siya sa air. Okay? Ayan. So, kapag bumibili ako ng yung mga tablets or capsules, I make sure that it's not in a bottle, but it's in a banig. Alam mo yung banig? Yung kailangan mo pa siyang punitin or i-tear up. Yeah. Okay? Kailangan mo siyang i-tear para ma-open. Okay? So that it will not lose potency. So that's my belief based on experience. Okay? I think there's another one. Protein folding and denaturation. So, protein maintains their structure through hydrogen bonds. So, yan po yung sinasabi kong ma-encounter nyo during your biochemistry subject. Changes in IMFs due to fever. Fever or chemicals can denature proteins affecting physiological functions. Okay. Kapag masakit kasi tayo, too much heat on our body can cause the folding or the denaturation or pwedeng madedenature ang mga proteins sa katawan natin. Okay? That's why we need hydrogen bonds to maintain the structure of our proteins in the body. Take note that proteins is one of the most important substances in our body. Meron pa. Surface tension in lungs. Okay, so the hydrogen bonding of water creates surface tension, which is the pulmonary surfactants that reduce these forces to prevent alveolar collapse in newborns, and it is very important. Okay, it's very important in in neonatal care. Okay, so when we say the surfactant, okay, ang surfactant, it's a lipoprotein that lines the alveoli. So if we have a surfactant in our alveoli, it will reduce the surface tension of the fluid in the lungs that will prevent them from collapsing. Okay, so it's a very significant. Okay, it's vital for gas exchange, and a lack of surfactant in our alveoli, it can lead to conditions just like respiratory distress syndrome, for premature infants also. That's why surface tension in lungs is very important. Okay? Next tayo. Tapos na kaya to. Another one. Evaporation of antiseptics. Yun yung sinasabi ko sa inyo, class. That when it comes to alcohol swabs, it evaporates. Kaya kapag i-compare mo ang tubig at ang alcohol, lagyan mo ng alcohol yung kamay mo, magdadry pa siya mag-isa. Unlike sa tubig, matagal siyang mag-dry. Because alcohol the alcohol that we usually use, it has a weak intermolecular forces. While water, it's a hydrogen. Okay? So, meron siyang hydrogen bond. That's why mahirap po siyang mag-evaporate. Okay? Ayan. Ay, meron pa. Ayan. So, it described the molecular structure of liquids. I think this is the last topic. Liquids. Okay? Liquids have definite volume but no definite shape. Because ang kinukuha lang po na shape ng ating water is its container. Okay, take note. It's the container. It has a cohesive forces that hold molecules together. Surface tension due to strong intermolecular forces. Mataas po ang intermolecular forces ng mga liquids. Okay, that's why here comes surface tension. Viscosity determines how easily a fluid flows. Pag less viscous, let's say for example, water. Water is a less viscous fluid. Kaya nakakapag-flow siya ng mabuti. Pero kapag blood, 'di ba ang blood class, it is very low. Very low in moving. Ibig sabihin ang viscosity niya is very high. Then capillary action helps liquid rise in narrow tubes. Let's say for mamaya mag-example ako sa inyo. Okay. So liquids have the behavior of liquids is determined by the movement and interaction of molecules. Unlike solids, liquid molecules can slide past each other. Take note, that's why fluid is flowing. Because they can slide past each other unlike solid. Kasi kapag hinulog mo ang isang ballpen, anong nangyayari dun sa ballpen? Magiging ballpen pa rin yan. Pero kapag ang tubig nilagay mo sa ibang container, mag-iiba siya ng shape. Or mabubuhos siya and then mawawala siya. Allowing flow, yeah. Allowing flow but maintaining some attraction through intermolecular forces. So, we have different behavior of fluids. The behavior of fluids, sinabi ko na sa inyo kanina yan. I think na-duplicate lang. Okay. First, viscosity. It's the resistance to flow due to molecular attraction. Resistance to flow. Take note of that. Resistance to flow, let's say for example, yung blood natin. It has very high viscosity. Kaya nga sabi nila, blood is thicker than water. So, what makes it thick is that if it has very high oxygen, ano nangyayari, class? Ang nangyayari, nagiging thick yung blood natin because of the RBCs carrying the oxygen or the red blood cells. Surface tension naman, guys, it is caused by cohesive. Anong cohesive? Parang parang adhesive tape siya na parang magiging pandikit siya between molecules at the surface. Kaya nga yung sinasabi ko sa inyo, class, that when you put a needle in a water, yung hindi siya patayo, So, pahiga lang siya. Okay? There is a surface tension. That's why the needle will not sink. Next, capillary action naman. When it comes to capillary action, class, it's the movement of liquid through narrow spaces due to cohesion and adhesion. Cohesion and adhesion. Example, yung... wait lang. Ayan. Yan yung capillary action, class. I-explain ko siya mamaya kung paano siya nangyayari sa blood. Evaporation and vapor pressure, molecules with enough energy escape into gas phase. Kapag ang molecules, class, mataas ang kanyang energy, nagiging gas phase po siya. Okay? Ayan, sa clinical relevance pala yun. Ayan. Blood viscosity and circulation. Blood behaves as liquid with variable viscosity. It changes in temperature or hydration affect viscosity, influencing blood pressure and perfusion. Saan na yun? So, sa capillary action, class, let's say for example, yung kinukuhanan ka ng blood sample kapag sa tip lang ng fingertip. The fingertip. Ang nangyayari, class, is that konti lang yung binutas or konting na-prick ka lang ng konti, lumabas yung dugo. That's what we call capillary action. Okay, so capillary action is used in urinalysis strips, hematocrit tubes, and capillary blood sampling. Ayan, capillary blood sampling, allowing fluids to rise without external force. Kahit hindi mo pisilin ito, class, merong lalabas na blood doon sa area kung saan ka na-prick. Okay, or natusok. Ayan. Next, lung function and surface tension. Yan yung sinasabi ko sa inyo about surfactant kanina. Surface tension in alveoli affects breathing mechanics. Surfactants reduce this tension. Because of surfactants, class, it reduce the tension in our alveoli and it aids now in gas exchange and lung compliance. Kaya nakakahinga tayo ng mabuti. Okay? Now, let's have here, ayan, ulit-ulitin lang natin. IV fluid flow, the viscosity of IV solutions affects infusion rates. Kung masyadong malapot ang nandito na fluid, then mahirapan siyang bumaba. Okay, that's why kapag mahirapan siyang bumaba, you have to increase or require more pressure or larger gauge catheters in order for this fluid to flow downwards going to the vein of your patient. Okay. Ayan. So, wound healing and exudate behavior, understanding how liquids spread or adhere, helps nurses manage wound dressing and drainage systems effectively. Okay, thank you so much for listening, everyone. It took 1 hour and 44 minutes to finish this. I really hope that you'll be able to understand the different concepts that I have discussed a while back. If you have any questions, you may approach me during our face-to-face class. Thank you so much, and sana naintindihan niyo yung mga tinakal natin. Goodbye everyone. Good day.